everyone, it's Keren here from tuppencecoloured.co.uk, and this is the card that I have been making today. So stay with me and I will show you how it all went together. My card base is Lost Lagoon, and I've taken my piece of A4 card and I've cut it at 4 inches all the way down and cut to 11.5 inches, folded it at 5 3/4. So that's going to be the base of my card. Now the Lost Lagoon is going to be one of the retiring in colours, so I'm using up the stocks that I've got. But of course, if you haven't got any, you can do this in any colour that works well for you. But I am going to miss Lost Lagoon because I really do like that colour. This is Sahara Sand, and I've stamped with the hardwood stamp on top of it in, and I think that's chocolate chip ink. And the way that I did this was I put the stamp flat down on the table, and then I took my bit of card and I plonked it down on top, put a bit of paper over it and just rubbed all over it, because I find that that is the easiest way, because this is, you know, this is a big old stamp, and when it's mounted on to a block, it's even more of a handful, and my hands aren't all that big. So I find the easiest way is to just put it flat on the table and put my bit of paper or card or whatever I'm using to put it on top of it. So put that out of the way. Now the first thing that I'm going to do with this, I'm going to do some blending, because I want to bring in a bit of colour. So I've got Lost Lagoon ink, and I've got one of my sponges. So I'm just going to lightly blend around the edges, and I am doing this kind of live, so I have no idea how this will work. This is you know, a splodge mat, an inking mat, and I'm just very lightly catching in the edges, just to make it blend and to make it friends with the Lost Lagoon. Although that's, you know, it wasn't like not friends beforehand. And the hardwood and the Sahara Sand stamp and the cardstock, they aren't retiring. They have been carried over into the 16-17 annual catalogue. Okay. There we go, so I like that, so I shall put that on one side for a moment. Been doing some stamping with this stamp set, which is called Going Global, and this isn't going to be carried over into the new to the new catalogue. So if you want it, you need to be very, very quick, because things are selling out very, very quickly. You know, the things on the retiring list are just flying out the door, so you may be lucky and may be able to get hold of this, or you may have it already. If you haven't, then you might want to substitute for stamps that you already have. Okay, so I did some cutting and some layering, and I've layered up the compass, this one here, and I stamped it out a few times in, I think it was crumb cake and chocolate chip, and I've just layered it up to make a 3D one, so I might use that, I might not. The globe I've stamped on Lost Lagoon ink onto Lost Lagoon card and just punched it out with a 2-inch circle punch. Same thing for the sentiment, the love between us knows no distance. I've done that as well. This is a 2.5-inch circle of Night of Navy that I'm thinking of using, and I also stamped out the compass in the Lost Lagoon and the Lost Lagoon. So I'm just going to play with these, and I'm just going to see where they go. So I think I've finished. Actually, while I've got the Lost Lagoon up, I'm just going to tip the edges. I made this for something else that I never used, and I don't know, if you know me by now, you know I don't throw things away. Not when I've put a lot of work into them. Actually, I put it somewhere and then I couldn't find it, so I went with a change of design direction. So I'm just popping that one up. And what I did was literally with the scissors going in and cutting out and you know, just chopping things up. So I'm not 100% sure whether I'm going to use that one or whether I'll use plan B. We will see. This is a bit of a magic journey today. who knows what goes on in my head. Right, so I've got Sahara Sand. So do you see what I'm doing here? I'm putting the Lost Lagoon onto the Sahara Sand card, and now I'm going to put Sahara Sand ink onto the Lost Lagoon card. And this will just age it up and make it look a bit vintagey. I don't think that's even a word, but you get the idea, don't you? So as I said, I have a plan. The plan is this sketch, which is designed by Mary Fish, which I found on Pinterest, I think, and it was from an old challenge. So this is my pattern, but I'm just kind of going with it today. I'm just kind of feeling a bit random. So you know, if you were expecting structure, I'm sorry. I'm going to disappoint you today. Okay. Right, so I've done that one, and we'll also do the world very quickly. I hope this isn't bouncing too much for you. Just that little bit of ink around the edge of the cutouts just makes all the difference. Now the 2-inch circle punch is staying with us, but the 2.5-inch circle punch is retiring, and I'm going to miss it. I am going to miss it, but having said that, it's a big, hefty, old punch to operate, and sometimes they go wrong, and it's so Stampin' Up has decided to retire it. So just wait and see what we've got coming along to replace it, because we can't keep everything, because we would need a warehouse the size of Europe to keep everything in. So that is why things get retired and they get changed out, and we get new stuff and new things to play with. So we get very, very excited about the new stuff, but we do miss the old favourites. Okay, so let's put these things out of the way into my sweetie pot. Okay, and let's bring in some of the other things. I'm going to move this out of the way because otherwise I will get glue on it, and if it's okay to get glue on the silicone mat because it gets off easily, but it's not so good to get it on a splodge mat if you have a splodge mat. I have to mention this, they get in everywhere. Do you know, when I went to Telford to our Stampin' Up conference, and I unpacked my bag, there was a dimensional, the back of a dimensional on the carpet in the hotel room. It must have sneaked into my bag. Right, so here we go. So let's play. So I have a piece of the Lost Lagoon stripe ribbon, and that's going to be my accent across the bottom. So that's a bit long. So I've got my scissors, got my snips. Now the big scissors, the big craft scissors, they're retiring. So that was kind of, again, another bit of a surprise. So we will keep that. I'll put that there. And now we're going to start to layer up. Now, what have I done with? One of the things that I wanted to do, right, sneaky peeky, I'm going to tease you now. Let's put that on one side for a moment. Getting ahead of myself here. I've stamped this stamp again onto Night of Navy, and I don't know if you can hear that, but the cat is sitting next to an ornamental lantern that I have, and it's having a jolly good scratch, and she's making the lantern rattle. And if you can't hear that, you have no idea what I was talking about, so just ignore it. Now then, sneaky peeky. I know, copper embossing ink, that's coming in the new catalogue. Love, love, love copper. I love the richness of it. So I was in there with my pre-order, getting hold of some of that. So I cut out the love banner, and I also, while I was at it, because I'd stamped the whole thing, I also cut out the knows no distance part of it. So I'm going to 3D that up with some dimensionals. Or some bits of dimensional anyway. So Is that off? No. Don't want to come. There you go. There you go. There. And I'm just going to pop that down right over on top. The cat, by the way, I think has got more subscribers than I have. I think she's got her own YouTube following. She is a bit of a diva. She really is. And I am going to be doing a live streaming, a live class on May the 14th. So she may well put in a personal appearance. So if you've liked this video, it will be, and you'd like to join me, the streaming will be taking place at, I'll be kicking off I think 7:30, and that is British summertime. And I'm hoping that we'll take around an hour. That's my very first one, and I'm really nervous. So if you have enjoyed any of my videos and you would like to come and support me on the night and join in the chat and, you know, ask me questions and, I don't know, just generally chill, then I would really love to have you. So there's a bit more information about it on my Facebook page, which as ever is underneath the video. The link to it, not my actual Facebook page. And you will get me live and unedited, because you have no idea how much rubbish I talk. Because I kind of edit it all out. Okay, so I've got some bits of dimensional showing there, so I could have been a bit more careful about that, but not to worry. Okay, not to worry. We will go back and fix it afterwards, just for the purposes of this demonstration. We've got some showing there, so just push it out the way with my piercing tool, my pokey tool. I cannot manage this. This is one of the things that I really cannot manage to craft without, is a piercing tool or a pokey tool of some sort. They are so interesting, and if you haven't got one and you want to craft, you need to get one. You just need to get one. That's just the way it is. Okay, right, so now let's go back to assembling. Okay, so I definitely want this around about there, so I'll put a little bit of fuse, and again it could be tape, and because it's not going to show, this can be your cheapest chips stuff that you get from the stationers, because I am all in favour of using the least expensive method that will work well when it comes to things that don't show, you know, because I would rather save my money and get some, you know, and get inexpensive sticky tape, rather than, and then I will have the money to spend on my lovely good quality Stampin' Up goodies. I would rather do it that way. Okay, so this is going to be my bit that goes there, and sitting behind it, let me see, I could have my compass and my world. Now this one I also did have, I'll show you. I did that in Night of Navy and in the copper, but I think I prefer that look, so that's what I'm going to go with. Right, now I'm going to put dimensionals onto the back of this, down at the bottom. And there goes the cat again, going into a spin cycle. Well, that's what it sounds like anyway. And that will then go over the top of that. I want one more in that corner. Okay, that on one side, and the rest of it can go on with fast fibs. Right, we're good. We are good. And before I go any further, I'm going to put this onto the card base. Otherwise, I will be trying to get snail onto the back of something that's got lumps all over it, and that is never easy. Plenty of snail. Bom, bom, bom. And there we are. Okay. My display had turned itself off because basically I've been rabbiting on for too long, so I just wanted to check that I was still recording, because I have been known to make a whole card and then find out that I hadn't turned the webcam on. So yeah, I know. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. So this one is going to go down first. Woo! Come back. So let's kind of tilt it off that way, so that the polar axis is just about right. Was it 23 degrees or something like that? I know, that's geeky, isn't it? I'm sorry. Okay, so we'll put this one down next. And again, I'm putting snail on something that is quite lumpy, so I'm making sure that I've got plenty on there. Put that where I want them all to finish up. Okay, and yep, and finally this one. Okay, so I'm nearly done. If I refer back to the sketch, we have a little embellishment here, which Mary has drawn a little flower to help us. And I don't really think the flowers go with the theme of this at all. I don't know what you think, but I wouldn't think flower on here. I would think this would be actually quite a masculine card. So I don't want to put a flower on. So what I have got is one of the antique brads, and which again are retiring, so I'm using them up, and one of the vintage buttons, and I think these are the kind that are retiring. Yes, I believe I'm right. We've got two sorts of ivory, vanilla, very vanilla coloured buttons, and the one set, which are the fancier ones, if you like, they are retiring, but the classic ones, the classy ones, are staying with us, which is good news. Okay, so I need glue dots. Sorry about the bumping. I'll put my tools out of the way, and I've got my cutting, I can't think of the word, pliers. They're not pliers, they're snips, and I'm cutting off the little legs on the back of the brad. And let's have a look. Yep, that'll do. And glue dot. Now the glue dots, if you've been watching me lately, you know that glue dots and I are not necessarily friends. Glue dots have been a little bit naughty for me lately. I don't know whether it's been the weather, that they've been, too hot, too cold. They can't have been too hot because it's been blinking noble in here. But maybe it's been too wet, which is entirely possible, or too cold, which is also entirely possible. I had snow on the way into work the other day, the end of April. Now, I don't know where in the world you are. You may be in a part of the world where snow at the end of April is perfectly normal, but it's not in this part of the world. Generally, by the end of March, we reckon we've done with snow. And I was driving into work and blow me down. There was snow happening. So let's have a look at that. Does that work? I'm not 100% sure. I kind of like it, and I kind of don't. Would it look better if I did that? do that, and then I do that. I could put it like that. I kind of like it like that. So. And again, if you're ever working from a sketch is a good starting point, but it's not, you know, it's not everything, and nobody will come and get you if you choose to leave something out of a sketch, if it's not working for you, or to change something around. The whole point of the sketch is to give you a starting point and to give you somewhere to go with it. Okay, so let's have a look at that, and I think I will call that finished. Right, do you know when I just said it was finished? Well, it wasn't. I went back and I added something more to it. I got this part of the compass, the points of the compass, which I've stamped on Night of Navy in the copper, which I did at the same time I was doing all of that, and I unpicked my button and my brad, and I popped that underneath it, just because it just makes it bigger and it just makes it more of a statement, and I think the card is better balanced that way. But so that is it. And if you've enjoyed it, please do give me a thumbs up. Consider subscribing to my channel. I will be posting more soon. If you want to know about more, find out more about the planned live stream, then please do check out my YouTube channel and my blog. But for now, thank you very, very much for joining me, and I'm going to see you again soon. Bye-bye.